We're going to work on some mountains today. I put this in earlier and I didn't really like the way it turned out. So we're going to cover this with plaster cloth and this as well. And
What materials are you using for this?
this is foam, just regular insulation foam. It was 4 inches thick at one time, or 2 inches thick, excuse me. And I've just carved it down. And now I'm going to put some uh, plaster cloth on it, let it dry, and then we'll do some sculpting.
All right, show us how to do that.
Well, we've got to cut this down to size. You can either cut it long ways or the other way. It doesn't really matter. It depends on what you're trying to cover. Have yourself some plaster cloth and a bowl of water, and then as we do it, we're going to dunk these pieces into the water, and then we're going to put it on the mountain. Yeah.
So how long do you have to let this soak before it's ready to go onto the
Oh,
mountain?
it doesn't take long at all. You just put it in, let it get wet, and you just put it on like this. It's real simple. It'll fold up on you, so you just kind of have to work with it and get it to. Wow, never had that trouble before. But
It's
anyway,
because you're on camera.
yeah, that could be. And that's all there is to it. You put them on and you push them in place. Make sure when you do this, though, that you overlap it when you put the next piece on. And you just rinse and repeat. And then eventually this will dry and you'll paint it or put sculpt mold on it, and then you'll paint it. And then you can,
How many layers do you usually have to do?
just enough to cover it, just enough to cover it. This stuff's real easy to cut. It's just the same stuff that doctors used to use to make casts when you break your arm or a leg or something.
Now, do you have to be careful not to get it on the tracks?
Oh yeah, we don't want it on the tracks. Usually,
What
if I,
happens if you get it on the track?
then you got to wash it off.
So it washes off pretty easily?
Yeah, especially when it's wet. Now, when I do this section here, I'm going to put some tape on the track so I don't get it on the tracks.
Do you have to use any special scissors for these or just
No,
regular kitchen scissors
just
will work?
regular scissors. Anything that'll cut cloth, you
Just
can.
don't use your wipe scissors.
No, don't use mom's scissors because she would have a coronary, and we don't need that. We do not need that. So this should be the last piece for this section here. And then we'll work on the other one. I got to put some tape down so we don't get any of this on the track. And it doesn't matter what kind of, well, I guess it does. I use painter's tape.
Any brand of painter's tape you can find?
Pretty much you can get
The
this.
blue or the green?
Yeah,
Any of the big box stores you can get them?
all the big box stores, even Ace Lumber, all those guys carry this stuff. Use this, cover the track. So you don't get any water or plaster on the track. I'm not the first one to do this. I've seen it on other channels. So,
You hear the train?
yeah.
That's
That's not our
mhm.
train.
That's not our train. No,
Not yet.
not yet.
Maybe someday.
So we got to cut up some more of this. A little piece at a time. And this stuff's pretty easy to work with. It'll take the shape of whatever you did here in the foam. Very simple. So kind of like the old paper mache, only you're using
Isn't that what
a
you did
different product.
your very first layout?
Very first
We
layout,
did
yeah.
paper mache. Well, you
Paper
did.
mache and plaster of Paris was the first.
Yeah,
mountain,
and I thought it looked
wasn't it?
really good. I thought it looked really good.
That's all we had to work with back then. We didn't really. Well, they probably had this stuff all along. We just didn't
And didn't know about it. We were
know
just
about it,
getting
or even
started
where to
out.
go about getting it.
We
So,
didn't have other YouTubers to teach us how to do this.
That's right.
Back then, yeah, there was no YouTube. As a matter of fact, we used to get all our supplies from Long's Drug.
Long's Drugs, that's right. And our ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I wonder if they're still there.
Long's, I don't. Ooh. I
There.
know the train's.
That's
Maybe
how
you guys
easy
can
it is.
comment if Long's
That's how
Drugs
easy
is
it is.
still around.
That's very easy.
And
That's
how long's
all
it?
there is to it.
How long does it take to dry?
Probably 4 or 5 hours, maybe a little longer.
And
It
then,
depends on the temperature of where you're working at.
nice.
And you can just smooth it out with your fingers.
Now, can you sand this once it's done too, or do you
Yeah,
not want to do that?
I don't know. It's pretty thin. The best thing to do is once you get your sculpture mold on there, then it's better to. You got all kinds of little tools for making little gouges here and little grooves there to make it look like it's a mountain or a little hill. That's all I wanted this to be, was just a little hill, not a mountain.
So we'll learn that in another episode.
Yeah, learn that in another
And
episode.
what's next? So next is
Next, we'll come back and once
Paint
this
it.
is dry, we'll start putting on some sculpt mold and eventually get into
We will
painting.
paint it.
So thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for riding along. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and leave us a comment below. Things you like, things you don't like, and things we need to be doing differently. Thanks a lot.